Time for a fragrance review. I haven't done a lot of reviews this year because if anyone reads anything about me, my health has been pretty bad again. You can actually see some electrode was ripped off me so hard. My skin came off and I was bleeding from just a lot of hospital stuff going on. But anyway, get that out of the way. I'm gonna do the latest fragrance from Creed Viking. I know a lot of people in the fragrance community were pretty excited or horny about it. So I'm gonna give you my little impression, my review. I think it smells really old and dated. I guess if I were to try to say that in a positive way, I could say that maybe it's a classic kind of smell, but it's a dated kind of smell. It smells pretty old. And when I say old, I don't mean it in a potentially fun way, like say, oh, like a fuck me daddy kind of way, or, just like a mature in a sexy kind of way. I don't mean it in any of that kind of positive, and no positive nuance of me calling it old or dated comes to mind when I think of this. I just think it smells kind of old, and it's borderline going towards grandpa-ish, actually. It's not a daddy thing. It's not sexy. It's not fun. Is it classic? Maybe I could say it's kind of classic, right? It's a little bit of a classic smell. I know some people were comparing it to Old Spice, and God, this sounds terrible because I collect cologne and I'm into it, but I actually don't have the original Old Spice in my collection. The only Old Spice I have is actually Whitewater, which is not even sold in America anymore. And I don't even think they sell the fragrance anymore overseas. They just smell like they sell an aftershave, and I actually have the original fragrance of it. But I actually, I don't even have the original Old Spice to even smell offhand again. It could be similar to Old Spice, but I don't wear Old Spice offhand. So, but it reminds me of being a kid and it's kind of walking into your grandma or grandpa's house and that kind of the bathroom smell of just like barbasol and aerosol deodorants. Like, does anyone use spray deodorant anymore? I don't know if they fucking do. I don't. But that spray, whatever. It's humid and just shaving cream. And it's just, again, I'm sure for some people that kind of nostalgia is probably comforting. But even if I were to say it's comforting and classic, I don't think that's sexy. Unless people want to have sex with their grandpa, if they have a grandpa fetish, if they have like that kind of old fetish. I don't know, right? But it's older than a daddy thing for me, personally. Um, Technical difficulty right there for a second. Sorry about that. Anyway, let me try to get a little bit more of what it smells like, besides smelling old and dated, I think. At the beginning, there is, even though I think the mint or the peppermint is listed in the mid notes, the beginning is definitely has a much more fresh kind of smell. And again, even think of like mint, you kind of almost think, again, I'm thinking of like a bathroom almost, right? And you could think of like a minty kind of toothpaste, right? It's called toothpaste. I do speak English. Um, It's got kind of and again, I'm thinking of a bathroom, like a Barbasol shaving cream, some minty kind of toothpaste or something like that. Um, if there's any sweetness in this too, which again kind of makes me relate it to being older, I would say the sweetness aspect of this is almost it's almost like an orange sardine or like an orange peeled candy. Do you know what I'm talking about? Again, it's not like a kid kind of candy, really, but it's like one of those like orange kind of peeled candies that are kind of like a jelly kind of candy that are kind of glazed with like some sugar kind of thing. Again, it's not something I would eat, but it's one of those old kind of candies. If there were to be any kind of sweetness whatsoever. Um, I know some people were saying it's kind of like, you think of Viking, right? If there's any kind of water aspect, I guess there is a slight sea salt, sort of sour nuance to it. But again, dude, it just is I would almost say that that's almost because it's humid. It's thick in a humid bathroom kind of way. Not some kind of I guess it could be a Viking dude. He just was bathing in his ocean of whatever the fuck it is, right? Of his hot babes and well, he smells old, so I don't know how many hot babes he's getting, but it's humid. I'm not sure how much of it's like a sea salt, a little bit of sourness. It's just that it's humid, right? I do agree too that I think although moss isn't listed too, I even thought at the beginning when there's a bit more freshness to it, from this like peppermint minty kind of smell, there's almost a little bit of a moss smell at the beginning to me, a green kind of mossy smell. But yeah, dude, I just think it smells old. Again, if I have to be positive, it smells maybe classic, but again, it's not classic in a sexy way. Maybe comforting. Some people probably have a little bit of a nuance to it. Like I said, I actually have a bottle of Old Spice white water. That's kind of dated to me almost in a way, but still, I still wear that sometimes because I remember smelling it as a kid and it's all right to me. Boy, I should just make the video over. This is going really badly so far. Anyway, yeah. Um, Again, I think it smells pretty old. Kind of barbasol, and the vetiver is really strong too, and that's like another. I'm not super horny about vetiver, and I think vetiver is definitely in some mixes. Vetiver can kind of smell kind of like a barbasol thing. I've even seen other people say this. Um, and you get that. As it dries down, I tried it a few times now. Sometimes the dry down was a little bit better, and I got more of a sandalwood smell. And then when the sandalwood is stronger and the vetiver is not as strong, it's a little bit better. But sometimes your nose picks up on different things, and if my nose is picking up too much vetiver, that's another thing that I think makes it smell pretty old. Longevity was, you know, kind of a normal kind of Creedish kind of thing. Longevity is okay, but projection is not that great. Um, it's a lot of fucking money too, so I don't know why. Geez, $500, and you would hope it's blasting for $500, but I don't think you're gonna get anything like that. But longevity was okay. As for compliments, to be honest, you know what I mean? I only asked like one person, and they thought it smelled old too. And at the end of the day, you know what? I don't care because the compliment factor doesn't matter too much for me because I know that I don't want to wear it. So I don't care if someone likes it too much to me because I'm not going to wear it. I'm not that. There's so many other things that get compliments that I also like that I could wear. So, I would be very surprised though if this got compliments like Aventus. I just don't think so. Like Aventus, even Aventus is not really my thing. Even Aventus smells a little bit old to me. But Aventus is still, I could still see the kind of sexiness of Aventus. It's a little bit older, it's mature. Aventus could be a vibe. This is a little bit more than a vibe to me. Um, and even Aventus, like I said, Aventus definitely gets a lot of compliments, but it's not really my vibe. And there's other things that smell older that I enjoy wearing if I was going for that vibe. So anyway, oh yeah, besides that, like I said, Creed, you guys fucked up, dude. I never got my sample from that Experience Viking thing. I had to go out of my way to get a sample of this, and I've spent good pauper money on you guys' stuff. And when I spend hundreds of dollars on a fragrance, it means a little bit more to me than when I have on for other rich people, I'm sure that do. But yeah, I never got my sample from that, so that was kind of lame. All right. Anyway, this took me 3 times to make. I had to stop a few times. Sorry about that. At the end.